And your subtitle of this book explicitly mentions how the Uttaratantra or Ratnagotra Vibhaga, the ultimate continuum, is a bridge between Sutra and Tantra. And that's often been said about this particular text, although we know it is a clearly a sort of a Sutra-based Shastra, a Sutra-based treatise. In what ways would you argue is this a bridge between Sutra and Tantra? And where does this idea come from?
Well, I'm not sure who brought it up first, but I know that it is definitely verbalized as such in the Kamakaji curriculum of the so-called 8 great texts, 5 of which are considered the more or less classical sutra texts that pretty much everybody studies, like, Pramanavartika and commentaries and Abhisamayalankara and Madhyamakavatara and the Vinaya and so on. And but then there's 3 additional texts which are classified as Tantra, and the first one of those is the Uttaratantra, and that is explicitly said that this is the bridge between Sutra and Tantra, and then the other 2 is the Profound Inner Topics by the 3rd Karmapa and the Hevata Tantra. So those are considered to be in one group, in addition to the classical Sutra topics. And then I would say that the Uttaratantra provides the basic view of Buddha nature. It doesn't really talk about practice, obviously, like really not at all. But it is definitely in the Kamakaji tradition, it is said to be the basic view of all tantras. Because all the tantras speak about a disclosure model of the nature of the mind, Buddha nature, however you want to call it, but they're not necessarily giving a systematic presentation of Buddha nature in the way that the Uttaratantra does. But they're kind of presupposing that kind of understanding. So you could say the Uttaratantra is the view that's also present in the Tantras, whereas then the Tantras are how do you practice with that view? Like, how do you directly work with Buddha nature? Because the Vajrayana obviously it's also called the resultant vehicle, right? Resultant jhana, as opposed to the causal one. So what is the resultant? And that's also clearly outlined in the Uttaratantra, that basically the ground, or the 4th Vajra point, which is the Dhatu, Buddha nature itself, is really not different from the fruition. So what you're working with in the Vajrayana is exactly that. And so otherwise, I think you could not call the Vajrayana resultant jhana. Because if you understand Buddha nature as just a seed or a potential, that's not the fruition. Nobody says that, right? So if Vajrayana would work only with seed or potential, then it would still be causal jhana. So I think that's a important point, that when you talk about resultant jhana, what does that mean? It really means you try to work with the fruition as much as possible. And that's only possible in terms of Buddha nature, since the cause and the result are not different. So in that way, then you could say the Uttaratantra is the bridge.
So in considering the Uttaratantra as a bridge between Sutra and Tantra, we are basically implying that Buddha nature is identical with the resultant state of the Buddhahood.
Well, that's what it says, as my understanding in the Uttaratantra, very clearly. Like, it talks about suchness with stains and it talks about suchness without stains, right? 4th Vajra point is with stains. 5th Vajra point and all after that is without stains. But the suchness is the same. But of course, I know there's many debates on that and different opinions.
Yes, indeed, yes. But I was also wondering if, in addition to the actual topics covered by the text, even the title itself, unlike all the other sutra treatises, not having an explicit term Tantra as part of the title, if this has also led to people think that this is already sort of a step moving away from Sutra towards a tantric realm.
Yes, definitely, because some people actually do interpret the word Tantra in Uttaratantra as referring to the causal Tantra, the method Tantra, and the fruitional Tantra. But that's not everybody. Some people do that. So they explicitly link it to that kind of language, which is exclusive to the Vajrayana. So, yeah, clearly that is there. Though the text itself explains it differently.